Hey, everybody, Carm Capriato, the Automotive Aftermarket Podcast guy. It's Aftermarket Weekly, Tuesday, April 20th, episode 50. Boy, do I have a great panel of great friends that are going to come here in just a little bit, just a moment, and we're going to talk stuff, automotive aftermarket stuff, which is something I love to do. Got my tie on again this week in homage that this is a unique and a really different kind of show. You know, a lot of information, a lot of fun in 25 minutes. And we just love doing this for you. Guest host, shop tour. Nothing like this has ever been done before live. And of course, we have a ton of fun putting it together. We're in the Dorman OE Fix Studios with all this great aftermarket wisdom. Love to have you here. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. We're streaming live. Well, it looks like I may have a problem on LinkedIn here today. Something just came up, and I'll try based on just clicking to see if we can go live again. Don't you just love technology, guys? I'd like to introduce my panel to you. Come on in, team. It is Eric Ziegler from Easy Diagnostic Solutions, Automotive Seminars, and the Drivability Guys, right, Eric?
Correct.
Wow. And talk about being in dry dock, if you will, for the whole year in 2021, right? Or 2020. Man.
I actually got to spend time with my wife, who it's been a change of pace from 2019, I guess it was, which was like planes, trains, automobiles, and motel rooms, to like post-vision, COVID hit, and the brakes got put on, and a lot of quality family time, a lot of time to do some curriculum development, things like that.
Is she ready for you to leave?
I always ask.
and so did I. Carlo Sabuco, Sills Complete Auto Care, Oakville, Ontario. Hello, Carlo.
Hi, Carm. Hi, everyone.
Hey, we're going to see his shop as the virtual shop tour later in the episode. Eric, I did a really cool thing for you. I did a podography. Let me show it to you.
Wow.
This really cool episode we did at Vision with Bob Greenwood in praise of our trainers. If you've not listened to that, imagine Eric Ziegler hair, Bob Greenwood no hair. We got these guys together. We had one hell of an episode. And then we talked about, you were on a panel of mine at Vision, the shop of the future. That was kind of cool. Second chance working with supporting addiction, a great Town Hall Academy episode. And of course, me and you one-on-one back in, what was that, episode 192, when we first got together, first met. We're at 600 and some episodes. That was 192. So just a little bit ago. And of course, the boutique training thing, which I love it. The techs come to you. That was just so cool. And probably last year, none of that happened. And hopefully you could get ramped back up to do that. And then technician proficiency to the next level through mentoring, which is something that I think you were ahead of your time in coming up with that. And I think it's critical that you need to continue to work on that. So I think there's probably more, but that was the ones that I picked out.
Quite a few. It's been quite a journey, and I'm always honored and privileged to be in y'all's company and to be included.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. Eric's an L1 advanced level diagnostic specialist, L2 electronic diesel engine diagnostic specialist, and L3 light duty hybrid. You have them all, right? I'm sure of it.
Not all. Mike Miller is my friend in Las Vegas, Nevada, is the one who I know who has actually all 50 or 60 of them. But yeah,
probably
all the automotive ones and 6 or 7 of the light duty.
Probably the parts specialist or whatever, something like that. Carlo, thanks for being here. We're going to go out to see Carlo's joint. This is a really cool shot of your place. I don't know where I picked that up, maybe off the internet, but Sills Complete Auto Care, Oakville, Ontario. Glad to have you here. Here's what we're going to talk about today, gang. Training, all the new tech coming out. What are we going to do about training and keeping up to speed? And Eric's going to cover that, of course, out there into Canada. I think our passports are okay to get there, Carlo. And we're going to have our fortune of the week, and then a trivia, of course, and more. We've been all over the North America and doing all kinds of shop tours. If you'd love to be on one of our shop tours, just drop me a line, carm@remarkableresults.biz. You can see all these episodes, see the tours, see my guest, and their kind of, if you will, 8 or 9 minute rant on every show. We've been everywhere, so please check it out. AW is a podcast. It streams right along with all the Remarkable Results and the Town Hall Academy feeds, the Aftermarket Weekly podcast. Please get a chance to check that out. And there's my graphic. Thank you. All I have to do is ask, and it just appears. Isn't that cool?
I think that's probably Tracy's magic.
Yeah, it's Tracy's magic for absolute sure. If I didn't have Tracy, I would be half of who I am today. You all know that. Hey, here's a trivia, guys. If you know the answer, don't yell it out, because we're going to cover the actual real answer at the end of the show. What make of car did the Cunningham family have in Happy Days? Remember that happened in the 50s, so I wonder what kind of car they had. So interesting stuff. Hey, a great new product from Dorman. Let's check it out. Replacing rear wheel bearings on some Toyota trucks can be extremely frustrating. The bearing housing often becomes damaged when the old bearing is pressed out or when the new bearing is pressed in. Not only that, but a shop press may or may not be available. To assist with jobs like this, Dorman has developed a 90-plus minute time-saving solution with their OE Fix pre-assembled axles. These bolt-on solutions eliminate the uncertainty of performing this basic repair with all of the major components, such as the axle, bearing, backing plate, bolts, and seals, already assembled and ready to install right out of the box. Want to learn more about Dorman's innovations? Well, visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Hey, Dorman, thank you. I am going to go to Philly and do a Aftermarket Weekly live there one day, and maybe hopefully we can see some really cool stuff going on there. This Friday, Town Hall Academy. You're repairing hybrids? Just about everybody knows Craig Van Battenberg. We also have Cameron Lee and Eric Carlson to talk about it, and that's this Friday, another live show we do every Friday. We do, of course, every Tuesday and every Friday live at 12 noon Eastern. Eric, let's talk. Technology is happening so rapidly. I don't know where you spend the time to learn it and then case study it and then build training. But let's talk about the how much training is coming, how much technology is coming out, and how are the trainers like you going to meet the call?
Well, I always think of like two things that when it comes to like technology. One is just how far things have come just in my career in 35 plus years working on cars. The quote from Albert Einstein always comes to mind, that change is the one constant in the universe. So we live in an ever-changing world. I remember being a young technician coming up when the transition from breaker points and distributors went to direct injection or went to a non-distributor ignition. You thought the sky was falling when HEI came out. And I used to work with the guys and be like, I'll do them all day long, right? They've got two plugins. One's a 12-volt feed. The other one comes from the coil pickup. The coil sits on top of it. It simplified things, but guys had that. The world's ending. The sky's falling. It's got 60,000 volts. It can electrocute you. And I was like, so could a Model A coil back in the day that could arc, blue spark 6 inches. We came in, we had the same argument when seatbelts came along. People were like, oh, if I wear a seatbelt across my lap, it's going to ruin, my dress or my shirt. It's going to become wrinkled. And it's just the technology has proven itself to save lives. So we kind of ebbs and flows through our careers. We've had to adapt. It's what we've always had to do. The difference now is the acceleration of such technology. It used to be, I don't remember that every 7 years technology doubled itself. I think it's much faster than that now. I don't know the statistic, but I'm always harkened back to a NASTIF meeting I sat in Apex SEMA in 2018, I believe it was, at the Telematics and Telecommunication Conference. And they had a keynote from Mary Barra, who was the female CEO of GM at the time. And her prediction was that you were going to see more in advance in technology in the next 5 years that was going to eclipse the previous 50 years. And
I
that's
remember,
about 2.5 years into that right now. And I think we're well on our way. But we've had, advances in ignition. When we went from carburetors to fuel injection, we all made that transition. We moved into GDI. We're, moved into that transition. Now, airbags, things of that nature. And what my company has done is a mobile service provider. We've gone out, and a lot of times we help shops that are sometimes very well equipped technologically and just need another pair of eyes. But oftentimes it's the laggards that, some shops still are doing 3 carbon work orders. And that's, we live in a different universe. And if you're going to be in, my suggestion is jump in with both feet,
It's such a great point that you bring up. When you have a chance to see those 3 carbon invoices being created, do you sit down with somebody and say, what's holding you back?
I don't really. I've learned a long time ago that I don't question other shops' method of operation or things like that. Number one, it's bad for business. It looks like you are trying to come across as a really super smart guy. And a lot of these places don't attend training. If you attend my training, you know how passionate I am about technology. Like the 3 carbon work invoice is probably the second upgrade people get with the internet. We went from like a big Chilton's manual to like maybe motor manuals. Then we had, we learned that like maybe we could get some sort of service information on hard drive disk that when we, did the updates when the early, part of Mitchell. Now we have the ability online. There's a plethora of service information. And the big game changer that I see is in the, point of sale software and the DVI inspection. And I, just was thinking about this, and I reached out to my friend Craig O'Neill, who's a Remarkable Results alumni. And I said, do you have a statistic on how many shops are actually using digital video inspection of vehicles and sharing it with customers? And he said that the estimate was 30% have some form of it and only 10% of it use it. Yeah. And I saw Carolyn Colquitt with Shopware was on a couple of weeks ago, and like it's a phenomenal product for invoicing, and both of the Auto Text Me and Shopware, and there are many others. I always tell people to kick tires, have that ability to have that communication with the customer to where I can share a digital file, I can share a picture, I can share scan data, I can share a manufacturer's position, and I can send it all to you electronically, to your phone, to your email. And those are so much better than the old-fashioned pick up the phone, call somebody at the office. Hey, Mary, can I talk to him? This is the 3rd time I called. Get the wheels off his car. I just need the okay for the brake job. And of course, as it always happens, you put all the wheels back on, you pull it out. An hour later at 4:00 in the afternoon, when you miss your parts deadline, they call and go, yeah, please fix my car. So
very eloquent regarding, SMSs, DVIs, et cetera, et cetera. You probably have that same feeling and passion for the technology and the training side. What's the stat, someone, of how many technicians and shop owners are paying for training and getting the training? Look at the virtual that we had this year. Do you think that there were more people in the training seats than ever before?
I wonder about that. I haven't seen any statistics about it. I know some people, I think it is a kind of generational thing in some ways. I personally feel a little bit cold watching myself on TV, as you see me train before or whatever. I'm animated, I move around, I engage, I ask questions. And I don't think you can really get that light bulb moment that instructors talk about. Like when you talk about something, you see somebody has that puzzled look on their face and you think, I got to break this down, explain it another way. And you do it and they get that aha look, like they got it. You know what I mean? That is very hard to do virtually. But I think that there's a certain comfort level with older technicians, maybe, that enjoy that in-person training, which is where I cut my teeth. So I'm a little biased that way. But the other thing that I think you get physically when you're there is the networking aspect. And I've talked many times in many podcasts that the finest people I've met in my life have been around automotive training tables. People who are just salt of the earth, people who ride EMS buses after work, people who are volunteers at treatment centers, people who work food banks, people who, are extraordinary ministers in their church, have Christian outreaches. Just the list goes on and on. Big brothers, big sisters of quality people. And that's kind of, I guess you could probably do that virtually. But the thing when you meet somebody personally and you get to talking, it always elevates your game, I find.
You're so eloquent. I could listen to you for a long time. One final question on this whole, new technology and training thing. Did you change, Eric, how you present virtually? I mean, did you actually stand up in front of the camera so that you got your energy?
I still sit down. I realized a couple of things. I have a couple of verbal tics. When I train virtually, I realize that if I'm not a very rehearsed, polished trainer. I don't do the same thing over and over again. A lot of it I do from the cuff. I realize that I look up when I'm like trying to find the word, that I look up. Yeah. And there's a whole, I look up to the right or I look up to the left kind of thing. And,
well, you looked up to the right when we first started, so I want to let you know I saw that, and that's your trademark.
But you don't realize your tics because you're not looking at yourself. You realize your verbal tics unless you record yourself and then go back and do it. But the one thing that I would suggest with the technology front is not just DVI and things of that nature. We've had such an influx of technology that we have availability to OESI. My company does ADAS calibrations all day long. It's a large portion of what we do. And my guys know that every car, every time they look the procedure up in OE service information. Or OE level service information. So if you've got your SI supplier is a cut paste kind of thing, then that's great. But always look up the procedure because things have changed. Even something as simple as doing an alignment on a late model car is going to require you to go and do some form of ADAS calibration if the vehicle is equipped with it. So that is a big part of it. The other part of it is now we have the ability to do these pre and post scans that we do, and we can digitally save those. We save all that stuff in a Google. I carry a 1 terabyte Google Drive or whatever, that we have all that information, and it's about documentation. Once you get used to it, that it's just click, paste, and a lot of that stuff can be sent and saved with the client, with the customer.
Great stuff. A great couple of tips. Thank you so much. Thanks to Tanner Brandt for hanging out and Kip being there. Appreciate that. And I forgot to mention, if you're with us on social media, check in with your city, give us a like and a share. That would be just so nice to have you do that. And listen, Eric's episodes, you can listen to them. They're archived on the website. They're on your streaming. You can just find them. And all these episodes for Aftermarket Weekly are all archived. And you can just look them all up on the website, on remarkableresults.biz/AW, and or on your favorite podcast listening app. Hey, let's do the fortune of the week, guys. Carlo, would love to have you back on screen. Here's our cookie. Let's see some great wisdom of the day that we're going to have here. Well, this one was a hard one to get out. The nice thing about standards is there are so many to choose from. That's the excuse, fortune. No. I mean, Eric said to do this. I'll do
leave it to you to have a standard plug on a Dorman sponsored show.
Oh, that is great. I love that. What a great connection.
Ryan Koyman must have bribed you, I imagine.
Yeah. Honest to God, that is really cool. As you all saw, that was as legit as we could possibly get. Cool. Hey, look at today we released a really cool episode with Bob Greenwood, Bill Haas, and Brian Gillis on the Coalition of Automotive Management Professionals. Listen, the coaches got together and said, we're going to get together and build an association so that we can learn from each other and we can build and find standards and we can all learn and meet who each other's is. And it was a great episode that came out today, Camp, and a really powerful and very emotional story with a couple of brothers out of Florida. out of Royal Pines, Florida. The unbreakable bond between brothers, Fernando and Jonathan Osorio. I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Eric, it's one of your kind of episodes. One of the brothers' kidneys failed to the point, and the other brother helped him with the kidney. They were just started a shop. They went to coaching group. It is so full of things that will click in your mind. And wonderful, wonderful episode. And of course, we also, a couple of Fridays ago, our Town Hall Academy, we released this episode last Thursday, Tires, a Profit Center. I tell you, if you would learn anything, I mean, if any podcast during the week you say, what can I listen to on Carm's show that will make me all kinds of money? This is the show. And they give you the stats of every car, the number of cars that come in on a percentage basis each week that actually really need tires, and the whole thing about road hazard and working with vendors. So that was a absolutely great and incredible episode. Let's go do a shop. Hey, Carlo. Where is Carlo? Let's get Carlo up here. And yeah, thanks, man. So we're about ready to see your shop. Your dad started the shop, right? And his name was Sil, right?
Switched over here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got him. We're gonna switch him over to his mobile, and we're gonna actually get the tour on mobile. And we'll get back to his question here in a momento. Beautiful. You're up and running, man. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Beautiful. So your dad started the shop, right?
Yeah, back in '76 we started. So
very good.
I'm just going to go to the outside here.
All righty.
That way we can start outside. Let me just cut through here.
Are you in an
It's
industrial?
not snowing yet.
Well, it probably will. We're supposed to get snow this week. Are you in an industrial area?
Partly. Half industrial, half residential. So we're on a main road here, so there's a fair bit of traffic and car count that comes by, but it's a mixed industrial commercial area. But we've been in this general area as we've grown over the years for quite a while. So most of the clientele, the database comes from within this area.
Got it. I love the hybrid
So,
sign.
on the outside, pretty. That's new sort of mission of the company as we've sort of chosen which path we want to take, and we want to go down that path. We're in Oakville, which is a fairly affluent area, so a lot of hybrids, a lot of Teslas. So I think that's where the direction of the company needs to go. So we'll sort of see how that directive goes. Our office, pretty much, we have all our COVID protocols. We have speed box here for all our contact services for picking up and dropping off, our after hours service, and then our documentation for all our COVID protocols. Currently here in Oakville, right now, we're in a lockdown, which basically means unless you're essential, you're at home. There's no businesses functioning or operating unless you're essential. So
I hate to ask this question.
Different game.
I hate to ask this question, Carlo, but is COVID on a resurgence in Canada?
Oh yeah, the numbers have gone up significantly in the last couple of weeks. So it's all these variations of it that have started to spike. So the government made our province has gone back to another lockdown again. So a lot of small businesses are hurting. So, but again, we figure out, we use technology, just like Eric was saying, we use technology and leveraged it. And some stuff, you're hesitant about doing it. This is just the push over the edge to make you do it. So it's been, on the flip side, in some cases, it's been really good to leverage technology. So all the things that we've been told to do for the last 5 or 6, 10 years, glad we did it.
Yep.
So it's a big part of it. So as we go in, so the front office is we got 2 workstations. We had custom designed plexiglass wall systems installed. So our keypads for signing work orders, it's all digital done. They're integrated into the glass panel system. Our waiting room right now on the other side is all blocked off just because with COVID and stuff. So it's got amenities like coffee. I've done enough of these, watched enough of these virtual tours that there are some incredible waiting rooms out there and stuff like that. But the main thing that we end up doing is making sure that the employees are safe on on their side. So, and then inside, they run dual monitors with all their stuff. They get access to all the information up in the front there. And then we'll go back in the shop. I'm trying to be as steady as possible. We're using the DJI gimbal here, stabilizer, so hopefully that'll work and give you a little bit of better.
Yeah, it's nice, really good, nice and steady.
So on the back side of our shop, technology and things, hey, what are good takeaways? In the back of our shop, we run a parts bin system. We used to use a PO number from the work order, but we wanted to have all employees be able to participate in efficiencies. So we just now use a PO number with the customer's name and their vehicle. So any employee who passes by the parts can bid the parts. They just read the parts supplier's invoice. So we make sure that I'm always about efficiencies.
Carlo,
entrance area, there's a little doorbell.
Carlo, let me ask you a question. Each of those bins had a number on it. Is the number significant at all?
No, not anymore. The little, and it's also, I'm also about managing costs too. I look at keep it simple, stupid methods. So, all our vendors give us all these nice little scratch pads. We just use them, put the customer's name on it. But we used to have a bid number and a PO number. It got too complex at that stage. I just needed to keep it simple, especially with onboarding new employees. The part comes in, if you walk by it, read whose name, read whose car, write it in the bin, keep on walking. And inbound parts, just with COVID, again, we designated area for parts. We've got a whole cornered off area and it's all signed off. So actually the parts drivers liked it because now it's just walk in and drop. And we put a wireless doorbell system throughout the shop. So the guys in front know if the parts have arrived. Someone in the shop know if parts have arrived. So this way, nobody needs to really talk to each other. We all know that something showed up and needs to be dealt with. So the doorbell was a sort of a easy, quick little thing. Smart. And then inside the shop itself, it's pretty much, we're about 5,000 square feet in the shop area here. 8 bays in here.
Love the channel.
And then we, as much as the building was set up with individual bay doors, we did the math and calculated that it's best to have a dealer drive-in style. So we drive in one door, come through the shop, and then exit out the other door. So all the technicians, the flow of traffic is one way in here.
Carlo, let's stop for a moment. You're in Canada. Tires are huge in Canada. They come on and off twice a year. Could you cycle back to that rolling cart, the rolling cart where the tires are on? And is that on, basically that cart allows you to like roll it over into storage? Is that why you've got that?
Yeah, well, we do it a whole bunch of different ways. One, we have the individual carts. So our tire storage system here is we store probably about 200 sets of tires on site. Most of the time in our down times of the year, those 200 sets are pulled, balanced, pre-checked, and then put back into storage again. So technically right now, we're just pulling tires out on those carts and they're rolled over to where the technician's working. So if matter of efficiency, those tires are already prepped, ready to rock and roll before that car gets to the shop. And then the technician puts his tires back on the cart, or we have a pallet with a lift pump cart, and we put them back on the cart again, and they all go back into storage at the end of every day. So we're just looking for efficiencies. So the technicians aren't having to spend a lot of time, take them out of the car, put them on the cart, balance them. If they're in the car, the person who's cleaning the vehicles is already pre-pulling the tires out of the vehicle while they're getting cleaned up and detailed for the day. They're pulling the tires out ahead of time and someone's getting them balanced before the car hits the hoist.
So does
So we're just trying to,
everyone?
because we're not a tire shop, we just do tires.
Yeah, I think you are a tire shop, but maybe you're not, depending on how you rate yourself. But does everyone in Canada have tire carts like that? I haven't seen them in a while.
You know what? There's all sorts of different ways. Again, I'm also pretty cost effective. The carts are just a wood. Mine aren't fancy. Mine are just a wood
I see.
four-wheel.
Oh,
Mine are just a
Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah, Harbor Freight, little mini pallet. Okay, cool.
That's all.
There's-
You
that's
get
a
some
big-
fancy ones,
That's a big takeaway right there. Okay, I love
but
it.
we buy like 15 or 20 of them. Yeah, we have fancy tire haulers and tire movers like carts and stuff. But the reality is the pallets work well. My floor is fairly smooth and flush, so it's not. I'm not really worried about them rolling, falling over, and being a safety issue. We just buy a whole bunch of them and roll them around and stuff.
That's a
Love
great
the
idea.
So, and then
by the way, Eric
new
loves your
additions to
channel
inside the shop.
drain.
That works so much easier to keep
that
your
was a
shop
big deal
clean.
when we moved to. Yeah, it's cleanliness. My dad always said years ago, he said, Carlo, the way you keep the shop is the way people will think about how you fix the car. Clean shop, and these guys must respect my car. Dirty shop, I don't know if they really fix my car the right way and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think image is a big deal. All our fluids are all controlled and centralized, put together. We look for efficiencies, cost efficiencies by using bulk. In a lot of cases, we use some OEM specific fluids. All the rest of them, various oils and stuff like that. We're just trying to look for cost efficiencies by the way we do it. So that's a big part of it. And then we just installed the sign this week, and that's about 30 feet by 15 feet. That sign. So we just had that put up.
And Pink Floyd in the
So it's
background always makes for happy
basically-
technicians.
Yeah. So,
Excellent sign. I love it. It's your purpose.
Yep. We run a Hunter Hawkeye system. So for our alignments, again, we do alignment checks on pretty much almost at this time of the year. Anything with rubber or any oil change at this time of the year goes to the Hunter Hawkeye system. So we do a lot of quick checks at this time of the year. And then we just converted last year. And I changed products, not because of the product. I changed products because the level of service from the company. And we went to a Hunter tire machine and a Hunter road force. The level of service, just like in our industry, the service guys come out, they fix it, they take care of it. I'm not having to hunt and chase for a vendor or part supplier, obsolete service vendors. So I made a decision, just changed over and went all to all new Hunter equipment.
This is great, Carlo. Is there anything else we need to see?
Unless there's anything specific, most of our technology, like we were talking to Eric before, we're factory Toyota here, Autel, VW, Ford, GM, all factory scan tools. And then inventory is a big deal for a lot of people. So we inventory everything with detail. And then the last edition, we just overhauled the back wall of the stock room. And this whole entire wall will eventually become all our custom and OEM level tools that we end up needing here. When we onboard new staff, a lot of them don't even know we have tooling. So we're dedicating the entire back room for all our OEM and tools and stuff.
Wow. A wonderful, wonderful tour, Carlo. I'm very impressed. I'm so glad after knowing you for all these years to get a chance to see your place.
Very nice.
And it is really, really nice. Hey, let's yay, thank you so much. Great thing. And I love that little wheelie thing there, Eric, for tires. That is just the coolest.
I was curious if he had a EV charging station.
Yeah, Carlo,
No,
do you have an
not
EV
yet.
charging station? Okay, all right.
My friend Kirk Holland at Gladney
No,
Automotive
no,
and
but
just built a shop in College Station, Texas, and he has one out front. And he was like the amount of people that, like, whether or not, you know, with it being out front, whether people come and use it, they see that as, hey, if you've got an EV charging station, like, you're qualified to work on my hybrid, or you're a high tech guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he said the cost wasn't too cost prohibitive; that it came way down.
So cool. Hey, Carlo, thank you. If you can come back on screen, maybe in your office or something, we'd love to have you back. Let's do the trivia thing, guys. What make a car did the Cunningham family from Happy Days drive? Well, if you guessed, you didn't, a 48 DeSoto Deluxe. That's the name of the vehicle. By the way, Richie Cunningham, who was played by Ronnie Howard, I believe in the series, I think he had a 52. Oh God, a 52 Ford. I'm trying to remember now, but anyway, yeah, if you're a car buff, you may have known that. Love what we did today. Thank you so much, Carlo. It was really great. Next week we're gonna go out. We're gonna hang with Keith Knowlton from LKS Auto Repair in Bremerton, Washington, and we're gonna get a shop tour out in Lakewood, Colorado, with Trent Pickering at Pickering's. Remember, everybody, guys, love to have you on. If you've got anything you'd love to share with us, thank you so much to my friends, Eric Ziegler, Easy Diagnostic Solutions and Automotive Seminars, the drivability guys, and of course, Carlos Abuco from Sills, Oakville, Ontario. He's not in the tire business, but you could have surprised me. Well, look at guys. Thanks. Appreciate you being here, and have a really good week.